James Helder, IFL TV, MTK Global. I'm in the world famous Peacock Gym today in East London. With me I've got none other than Lawrence Okolie, aka The Sauce. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You know, just finished a little session, chilling.
Now, for those that don't know, have you relocated to the Peacock Gym? What's the sort of the logic behind us being here?
The place we're at now, I think something went on with the rent and whatever else. So we've been staying here for a few months until we find somewhere else. But it's quite good here, so it's been calm.
I'm guessing they've made you more than welcome, so it hasn't been too much of a upheaval for yourself.
Yeah, for sure, and it's actually closer to my strength and conditioning, so it actually works better for me. But yeah, it's been good.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. You're in a monster fight coming up 8 days from now, as you challenge for the Commonwealth title against Luke the Duke Watkins. What's your mood and mindset coming into this?
I feel chilled, like it's just another fight. Same way like when I was an amateur, you know you're going up against someone good, so you just take it as it comes and have a fight.
Last fight out against Isaac Chamberlain. Do you think this is a notable step up, or do you think he's on the same sort of wavelength as Isaac?
I think it's a step up in a physically. Do you know what I mean? I think that Isaac might have been a little bit more sharp defensively than Luke Watkins might be. We don't know yet. He's probably worked on a few things, but he's definitely going to be much more of a threat physically. The fact he can punch, the fact he's going to, he does strength and conditioning, so he'll be solid, explosive, athletic. So yeah, it's definitely a step up. Your
physicality, if you like, was a big part in your dominant performance against Isaac. Do you feel that you could be outstrengthed, outmanned in this fight?
We have to wait and see. I know we have to wait and see. I personally don't think there's many cruiserweights that are going to be physically strong enough to push me about, whatever. But I personally don't even think that's the tactic he's going to go with. Do you know what I mean? But we'll see. I'm sure he's going to watch the Isaac fight and worked on like what to do if I try to be physical. So we might try something else.
Now, Luke the Duke Watkins has come a very hard route to get his hands on this Commonwealth title, beating Dupree, taking him out in spectacular fashion as well. Does it make you more up for the fight, knowing that he's had to go the hard way around to get to this route?
No, obviously I'm up for any fight. Do you know what I mean? I train hard anyway. Him being a hard fight or whatever doesn't really do anything for me. The fact is I want to win the Commonwealth title, so it could have been anyone that I'm boxing. Is where it is. Has he had a hard route to get there? I don't know. But we'll see anyway.
Now, you headlined the O2 last time out against Isaac Chamberlain. Rightly or wrongly, that fight received some critique. Will that affect how you go into the performance and how you box against Luke Watkins?
Maybe not. We have to see. It depends how I feel leading up to the fight. Right now I feel good. Weight's fantastic. So I feel in a very good place mentally, but we have to see. If I feel it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be depending on the first couple of rounds how the fight's going to play out in my mind. But yeah, I might go in thinking, like I said, it's very easy to sit here and like play it cool and be like, listen, I'm going to go in there and do my job. I might go in there with a lot to prove and try to get a fantastic knockout very early, but then that could lead me on to walking onto some shots. I might go out and box clever and it's a boring fight. We don't know yet, but the most important thing to me is winning.
People make a lot of venues. Is it a concern for yourself that for this one you'll be dropping down to a smaller venue in York Hall?
I'm not concerned, but it just changes the type of fight it's probably going to be. As much as you block out the crowd, the fact it is quite an intense cauldron kind of place.
Quite compact.
Yeah, so people are really on top of you and it feels like you're having more of a tear up, so it might turn into that.
Something tells me you like that sort of atmosphere, you thrive on that.
For sure, it's going to be fun, do you know what I mean? It's never fun to be in hard fights, but it's rewarding, so yeah, I'm ready to be rewarded.
What has Anthony Joshua said to you in the build-up for this? Have you had one-on-one time with him? Is there any information you can tell us?
He said winning's important, but do it exciting, so, that could change a lot of things.
Is it positive for yourself having Anthony Joshua on the end of a phone call to get that advice, to have him working with you and your team?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, he's someone that I've looked up to. He's someone that's doing amazing things and is continuing to do so. So little bits of advice I can take. Obviously, I can't take everything he's done. He's Anthony Joshua, I'm not Okolie, but the little bits of advice go a long way.
Who wins, Joshua or Wilder, in your opinion, and how?
It depends really, obviously, in terms of how the victory's going to come. I think that really and truly, if Joshua closes the space down on Wilder quickly, he'll be able to get him out there quickly. But then again, this is boxing, and we forget Joshua's an Olympic gold medalist, Wilder's an Olympic bronze medalist. Joshua's had a lot of pedigree, however, Wilder's had a lot of experience. So if it turns into a boxing match, I think Joshua wins that as well. The only thing is they're both big heavyweights, so you just got to be careful of power each way.
Waiting on an imminent announcement regarding when we can see all 4 belts round the waist of one man for the cruiserweight final. Alexander Usyk, Murat Gassiev, in your opinion, could you break down that fight, how you see it playing out?
I think that Usyk's going to have the reach on him and also the footwork, so he's going to be able to, you know, pick in and out. Gassiev will tight guards, trying to walk him down, probably with a double jab to the body, whatever. But with Usyk's movement and timing, he should be able to catch him and win on points. However, I think if Gassiev obviously catches him, anything's possible.
You know Usyk boxed as a heavyweight in the amateurs. Do you think he's big enough for the heavyweights as a professional?
I don't know about big enough, but he's got enough skill to hang in there. Do you know what I mean? Slipping shots, countering. Like, I don't think he's not going to be a massive puncher at heavyweight, but he'll be able to outbox a lot of heavyweights.
Now, you trained with Brian OShaughnessy. We don't seem to get much of him on the channel.
Yeah.
Give us an insight to what Brian's like.
Just like really chilled out. We put in the work, obviously, but in terms of like fights and stuff like that, he's very, very calm. So he's just laid back kind of guy. Which I think works well with me, because sometimes I get a little bit, tense, I'm gonna smash this, that, another. So if I had someone else that was on that same wave, would run wild. But I think where he's quite cool, it's just it works out well.
Do you put as much emphasis on the strength and conditioning side as you do the boxing training, or is the boxing training at the forefront?
The boxing training is obviously at the forefront, and we actually have like a plan and like a graph, so you can see the percentage I'm doing of what. So boxing's obviously at the forefront, but I have a lot of runs and a lot of strength and conditioning as well, all round.
What are your thoughts on Eddie Hearn's new venture in America with the Dayton deal and the £1 billion deal, etc.? What are your thoughts on that?
It's fantastic. Obviously, it's early stages, so it's good to be with a promoter who has that kind of extra backing. So we have to see how it all blends in together, but as long as, you know, the UK fighters get to go out to America, that's a whole new market. US fighters get to come here, that's a whole new market. So I think it will help build into bigger fights, not necessarily straight away, but in the next 2 or 3 years, once, you know, there's an integration, boxing becomes a bit more worldwide university, I think.
Is there any concern from the British guys that maybe some of the big cards could be neglected with such a sort of more prominent position being played in America?
I'm not sure, we have to wait and see. But I think Matchroom know what they're doing, so they've got, you know, their own American staff that they're probably building up the same way they've got a staff and stable here. So I'm sure it'll work out. £1 billion is enough to pay some new managers and new other people.
Yeah. What fights would you like to see made in 2018 that we haven't already seen made, right?
Joshua versus Wilder. Probably Lemachenko, Mikey Garcia.
Great fight.
Yeah, Chad. Other ones, Kell Brook, Amir Khan. It's got a lot of hype.
Do you think that fight's losing hype? People, excuse me, but people other than yourself haven't heard really beating the drum for that fight.
No, but I think as soon as that kind of fight's made, it will do well. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them fights where as soon as you hear it, it's like, okay, yeah, let's see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Who do you think wins, in your opinion? Brook Khan?
It depends what weight it's at, really. If it's at welterweight, I think Amir Khan might win because of the drain, but if it's anything higher than that, I think Kell Brook might be a bit too strong. But then you can't get away from the fact that Amir Khan's one of the best offensive fighters in the world, so I don't know.
It's quite a difficult one. Obviously, Khan's not as comfortable, nowhere near as comfortable at 154.
Yeah.
Can Brook still make 147 and be the same fight?
That's it.
150?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. If it was me and you doing the deal, Lawrence, we would have it signed and done.
Trust.
10 weeks ready to go. So talk us through from now what your plan's going to be, sort of the last things till fight night.
Fortunately, I've made maybe I shouldn't say too much about weight, but yeah, I'm good in terms of weight. So I don't have to train as much. We start tapering off now. Just working on some sharp stuff, do all the immediate obligations, and then the only thing that matters is the fight.
Fight prediction for your fight with Luke the Duke Watkins, how do you see it?
It's difficult because until you get in there with someone, you don't really know how good or bad they are, how your styles are going to gel together. But from what I've watched, I think Well, like I said, if he boxes the way that he's been boxing, then it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'm going to win by knockout. But if he changes up his style because he's boxing me, maybe he works on like a few little things, then it could be a longer fight and it'll be fun.
Want to touch on another fighter in the stable, light heavyweight Dan Aziz. Winning a lot of praise, a lot of people talking about him, very exciting. What can you tell me about Dan?
Hard worker, great guy, and he puts in the work and he's not afraid to fight anyone. So you know, it's good that he's getting his praise, and he's ideal sparring for someone like Watkins.
I was thinking that when I was having a look at his fights and his box rec as well. I know he boxed the other day as well in Ipswich, I believe.
Yeah.
Must be great to have someone like that around.
Yeah, I mean him, but I mean even just the people that I spar on a regular basis. Do you know what I mean? Andy Joshua, Dan Dubois, Joyce, Fraser Clark, the GB boys. Do you know what I mean? Dan Aziz, Umar. So I'm week in, week out getting great sparring, and so you know what I mean. Holds you in good stead for a fight instead of 7 weeks trying to scrape together whatever sparring you can get in the hopes to be able to compete.
One fighter you mentioned there, Joyce, recently winning the Commonwealth title. We saw some interactions between Joyce and Big Baby Miller as well, quite interestingly enough. Was that a fight that you'd pay to see?
100%. It's great because Big Baby Miller is so big and robust, and then you've got Joyce, same, and they're both considered workhorses. So that'd be an amazing fight to see if Big Baby Miller could handle the pressure that Joyce brings, which I doubt, but you know, that's what makes exciting fights.
Would you go along with the statement that people don't realise how good Joyce is until you're in the ring with him?
100%, 100%. I've watched him spar before. I've obviously sparred him a lot, and I've watched him outside, and I'm calculating. Okay, look, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do this and that. And you get in there, and all of a sudden, the stuff that you thought you were gonna do is harder to do. And people should take that in note when it comes to fighting in general. You know, it's very easy to watch tapes and see certain flaws in any fighter and believe, you've got what it takes to defeat them. But watching on tape and being in the ring are two completely different things.
It's very true. I once thought I could beat Gospig, but we won't go into that too much. All right, Okolie, thank you very much for coming to our TV. Always great to get you on the channel. I know there's potentially a workout or a press conference coming up.
I believe it's getting announced today, but I think there's a workout on Friday and then press conference on Monday.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.